Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Welcome back to the show. My name's Ryan, and for those of you that don't know already, I'm a former Royal Marines Commando, proud owner of a Green Beret, and today we're going to be talking about Russia-Ukraine invasion, giving you live updates, and giving you a current sit-rep on the situation. As you can tell by the title, sanctions imposed are like a declaration of war. That's in the words of President Putin. So we'll wait, as always, to get a few people in the chat on the live stream, and we'll get going, guys. You know what's coming next, though. Please like the stream, and we'll start this whole thing off positively, yeah? Let's get over 100 likes. There's over 100 concurrent viewers at the moment. We'll do about 5 minutes worth of admin, and then we're going to get into it, guys. So we've added a new feature to the channel. We're going to test it out on tonight's show, and if it works out okay and it's something that you guys enjoy in terms of the interaction, because I want to create an interactive show, as we know, that's my intention, then I'll integrate it into future videos. I might even dedicate a stream to just that, okay? But I think it should be a good feature. Wow, we've got super chats coming in already. Tristan, thank you for the super chat sticker. It's what does it say actually? Super effective. Cool, man. I don't know if we can edit those stickers to combat our wounds, but I've just came back from the gym, guys, so I might be a little bit sweaty. But welcome back to the channel, guys. If you've been watching these live streams over the past few days, I think this is coming up to a week now. I think we started this on Sunday. You'll have noticed the traction of them have went really well. We've gained a lot of popularity on this, so I'm going to continue to do this because it's something that you guys clearly want, and it's something that I like doing. Okay, guys, and we're going to develop it further, but that's to come out in the future, troops, okay? Let's get the likes over 100, guys. So how it works, it's 2,300 exactly here in the UK. Wherever you're watching from, thank you for joining in. Every 15 or 20 minutes or so, maybe it's a little bit more than that, maybe 15 to 30 minutes, I'll ask you guys, I'll go through a few admin points, as always. I'll ask you to like the stream, because that's one of the most important things you can do. Share the video as well, because you'd be surprised at how many people actually gain benefit from that, and double check that you subscribed and turn your notifications on. That's the most important thing, okay? If you want to interact with the chat, the easiest way for you to do it, if you haven't noticed by now, is by doing the super chats. It's easier for me to get through those, and in some cases it's actually the past few days there's been quite a lot of information to get through. I may have actually even missed a few of those super chats, so if I have, I do apologize in advance, guys. I do try and read every single one of those. We do have a lot of good points come from them, a lot of good questions to it basically gives the direction of the discussion, so I'm really grateful of all of those points that are brought out of the woodworks to help the channel with its cause of creating a discussion around UK and Russia. All right, so thank you for that. Over 200 concurrent viewers in the chat. Cool. Right then, so we're gonna get started with this, guys. Welcome back. If you double check in the description, and I'll open up the phone call system. I'll take calls at certain points, so I aim to do a little bit of talk until about 11:45 my time, so about about 12:15, which is about 10-13 minutes from now, and at around 12:15, in and around answering the super chat questions, I'll take calls if there is any calls on. I am expecting some calls, so there's a few people said that would be quite interesting, but if we don't get any, that's fine. We'll continue as normal, but the link for that is actually in the description, troops, okay? There's a link where you click on, and it's like a browser thing that I'm testing out. So if you want to ask a question live on the show via an online call, you can call the show and do it that way, and I'll drop a link in the chat just now for that. So that's the link just for reference, troops, okay? But it is in the description. So what have we got here? Hey, we've got Chunky Honky back in the... Chunky, you keep on messing my flow up because you've got a funny name. I need to be all serious with this. It's a serious show, isn't it? I'd like to think it is. Chunky, thanks for joining us again, buddy. We've missed you the past couple of days. Thank you for your super chat. You're saying this has been a rather eventful ceasefire. Well, I'll be honest, I haven't watched any of the news today. All right. I'm in the wrong business, really, aren't I? I'm trying to give live updates, and I haven't watched anything. But again, I'm quite reliant on you guys for the information, and then we investigate further on the show. I'd prefer to do it that way than to be the guy to give you all of the updates here. I'd prefer to do it as you're watching this, so it's interactive, isn't it? It's better. So good to see you, Chonky. Hey, Derek Buchanan, welcome to the Agended Members Club. Brother, you are the first one of the stream, actually, so welcome, my friend. Look forward to speaking to you after this in a different capacity as a member. Player 1, again with the 49. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. No question this time, just a robot dancing. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you, brother. Player 1 is... Yeah, you'll find out about Player 1, guys. He's a regular on the channel. Very kind indeed. Thank you, my friend. Right then, so got loads of people commenting, actually. Boom. There's the link again, troops. I don't intend on... So if people do call the show, don't worry. I'm not gonna. I intend on, it depends on what the conversation is, and if you're willing to speak longer. I aim to keep the calls between 2 and 5 minutes long, nothing more than that, okay? So don't worry about costs and stuff like that. Hey, Killzone, welcome to the Agended Members Club. We haven't even getting started yet, troops, and we're pretty big on the old members already. You're the second one of the stream. Welcome, brother. Look forward to speaking to you later. But right, let's get started then, shall we? So, actually, I need to... This is slightly off topic before we get in. It's still admin time anyway, isn't it, for another couple of minutes. 300 concurrent viewers. Guys, welcome to the show. If you're brand new here and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And let's smash that like button. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. And it's the most beneficial thing you can do, okay? It really does help me out. So if everyone can just literally swipe down, press that like button once. That's all you got to do. And we're happy. All right, let's get them likes over 200. Joseph Simpson, welcome to Agended Members Club. Brother, I appreciate you supporting the channel. And that icon looks pretty good next to your name, my friend. We've got quite a few members in the chat already. Look forward to speaking to you after the chat. We always do, as a minimum, a community post aimed at the members only for after the show. Okay, so you get a chance to chat and interact with each other. That's it. We're over 200 likes, so I'll leave the liking down to you guys. I'll keep the likes and all of that to the admin points every 15-30 minutes or so. But let me know in the chat if you see that link, if the link actually works, even if you don't intend on calling in with anything you have to say. We'll get questions generated from this, and then you can have your say on the show, guys. Okay, but one thing's if you can just test it to see if it does actually work, then that would be massively helpful. Okay. So Fernofinity, I know you haven't. It's not a super chat question, but I've just seen it there. It's a pertinent one actually, because you might be asking something that many people will be thinking. No, you don't have to be on a PC to become a member, but you might not see the join button via a phone. So that's why I've put the link in the chat, and I've pinned it, and I've also put it in the about section to get over that. Okay, hopefully that answers your question, buddy. Player 1 again with the super chats coming in. As always, like I say, guys, he's Player 1's a regular. You'll see this with Player 1. Great guy, man. What are you saying, Player One? Putin said the US sanctions are a declaration of war. It feels like he is trying to pull the US in. Exactly what I was thinking, and that's the exact reason I put the title in the as it is. You must have been reading the same thing as me, but I was downstairs getting my protein shake in post gym, and the first news article I read was that. So let's explore that as a topic, guys. What do you think? Do you think that Putin is trying to pull the United States into war by saying that the sanctions are a declaration of war? I mean, in terms of it being, how can I put this? Militarily, how can I put it? Conventions of war, we understand that people break rules, people do X, Y, and Z against. Some people try and play by the book as best they can. I'd like to think that my country tries to play by the conventions of war on the more moral side, okay? But is it actually a declaration of war? The sanctions that have been imposed on Putin, or is that him just spitting his dummy out? What do you think about that? My personal thoughts is it's not. Those sanctions are a direct response of the invasion of the Ukraine, okay, and it's to obviously stop him from doing that. He's declared war effectively, so as he spat his dummy out on that. If you want to phone in and talk about that, you're more than welcome, troops. Let's see if we've got any. Zero, right? So I don't know. Yeah, I'll see. I'll see how that works, guys. But hopefully the call-in system works. It should work. I think it should work. Yeah, good point. So I think that can be the first topic of that we can explore. To be fair, I don't think it's a declaration of war personally, but what's going on in his head? I mean, he's the one who's invaded a country. Maybe it is a tactic to get the United States involved. Maybe it's a reason for Putin to escalate what he's currently doing. Yeah, maybe he's going to use that as an excuse to do more horrific things. I don't know. What do you guys think? We've got loads of members in the chat at the moment. Good to see you guys back, man. It's nice that you actually become members and obviously stay and keep coming back. That's a positive sign, guys. The real Slim Shady. Hey, welcome back to the chat. You're always in the chat as well. Good to see you, buddy. And cool name. You're saying... Right, this is the thing. I don't know what the translation to some of these things are. So I've been caught out in the past by reading things in a different language and it's meant something else. So I'm just going to read the last bit. You're saying glory to Ukraine. Yeah, indeed, my friend. Joe Moore, thank you for your super chat. You're saying if he said it's a declaration of war, we are waiting. Come get us. I think that's the mentality of a lot of the world right now, isn't it? You know, I mean, we've seen that in terms of the numbers of volunteers who have actually volunteered to go to the Ukraine at this moment in time. We've got thousands and thousands and thousands of volunteers, many without any military experience. So they're right up for the cause, you know. I think people who are... There's a lot of military people, especially those from the Iraq and Afghanistan era, who have been affected deeply by war, and their families will be probably the first to say that they're not really for intervention in any way, shape, or form because they've been maimed by the horrors of war. I've served with individuals who've been maimed greatly by the horrors of war, and they still have those negative effects to this day, which is terrible to witness. I, for one, am not that person. I haven't seen those horrors personally, but I've bared witness to friends and fellow comrades and veterans who have, and it's not nice. And it seems that I don't want to call people naive, but it is naive, and it's normally the young aspiring males who want a purpose in life, and this came up and they thought, you know what, I'm gonna go volunteer for to fight. Very naive with no military experience, and they're going to be in for a shock. The horrors of war is going to quite literally blow their thoughts out of their head. It's not what they think, all right? And in terms of gaining an ego off it, there's nothing egotistical about not coming back home, all right? And but you've got to let people do their own thing and mark their own course in life. It's an interesting one to talk about that. Thank you for your super chat. Chonky Honky, hey buddy. You're saying it seems that this conflict is just a slow march to the inevitable. What do you think is the inevitable, though? I think I know where you're going with this. All right, I think I know where you're going to go with this. Are we talking about the old nuclear button, the red button? Do you think that's what's going to happen? It's interesting to think about this convoy. Maybe it's when you look at the distance, there's long-range nuclear missiles and there's tactical nuclear missiles. The tactical nuclear missiles have got a shorter range, okay? Shorter range, and they can have a lesser impact in terms of the impact area is smaller, significantly smaller with some of the tactical nukes. But those can be utilized on smaller cities. So is that what we're going to see? Are we going to see tactical nukes maybe utilized? So it's still bad, but it's not bad enough to be able to get intervention from other countries. But it is an escalation process nonetheless, isn't it, if he does use these missiles? Because that convoy, it still strikes me why that's happened. I've tried to fathom it out in my head. I'm still leaning towards it was a mistake, and it was bad planning. But a part of me thinking, well, Putin doesn't really care that much about the lower grade soldiers, cannon fodder, so to speak. And I hate using that term because no soldier should be cannon fodder, no matter what side they're on, okay? But yeah, that it doesn't make sense. But when you think about where it is, are they ready to just go pick up the pieces if a tactical nuke was used? I don't know. Right, next super chat. Where are we at? Chonky Honky, thank you, buddy. Uni Gaming again. Hey, good to see you back here, buddy. You're saying you think it's escalate to de-escalate scare tactic. So I think it's escalate to de-escalate scare tactic. That's not going to work with the West, though, is it? I don't see that working with the West. It never has worked with the West, and I'm talking about the United States, the bigger part of NATO. I don't think that's going to work, and egos are at stake here. All right, we've got the two biggest military aggressors on the planet flexing. That's where it is. Two guys standing outside a kebab shop wanting to go. They've both had a drink. You know how it is. No one's standing down until someone gets put down. That's how it always ends. It never de-escalates under with morality in touch. All right, we never hear these two guys work it out. It never works like that, does it? Hey Hans, welcome to the Gendit Members Club, brother. It's good to see you here. You're the 4th member of the stream. Welcome, my friend. Make sure you keep an eye on the community tab because we'll be posting members-only posts in there for you guys. Player 1 again. Thank you for your super chat, brother. You're saying former National Security Advisor John Bolton says Putin was waiting for Trump to withdraw the United States from NATO in his second term before invading the Ukraine. That's interesting. But at the same time, Trump was adamant that the way his kind of political style was quite aggressive as well. And he was adamant with the fact that he generally believes if he was still in power, this invasion wouldn't have happened because Trump said I think he even said he would have invaded Moscow. And I think Putin and Trump they're very different people, but they have similar mindsets for certain things, and they're very, very stubborn macho politicians, aren't they, in that respect? So I think they've got they met the match with each other in that respect. All right. What do you guys think? Do you think if Trump was still in power, this wouldn't have took place? It's a hypothetical nonetheless, so we'd only be speculating really in that respect. Thank you for your question, player 1. Zach C, thank you for your super chat. What are you saying? Have you seen real life law video on Russia? I haven't, mate. King Tyrant, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, do you think that Putin, if he wins in Ukraine, he'll move on to NATO and the rest of the EU, with him being erratic being the best way to put it? I think I don't think he'd move straight away. I don't think it would be strategically the best decision for him, even though I don't think he's made that good strategic decisions so far. Some he has, some he hasn't. I think this will be long. You've got to understand what winning looks like in the Ukraine. It means occupying it. And if you're occupying Ukraine, it's not just going to be over when he occupies. You're going to be having all of these mini skirmishes with pro-Ukrainian support and pro-Russian supporters fighting each other all the time. So it's effectively it's only going to destroy the area even more. You know, we've seen Malawi, we've seen the Middle East. These areas don't just stop once the invasion has been won or lost. All right, it's the after effects that is the real problem. So either way you look at it, Ukraine is in a big problem situation for a long time, as far as I'm concerned. All right, Ukraine is effectively, you know, it's off limits, I would say, for a long time. Personally, that's just my opinion. You know, so. Ericsson, hey buddy, I spoke to you, I think yesterday or the day before. Thank you for your super chat. You're saying, as a coat hunter heavy machine gunner, I'll protect. Hey, I'm guessing you're are you a Jaeger soldat? Jaeger soldat. The Swedish hunter soldiers, man. Swedish ranger soldiers. They are quite a classy bunch of people, to be precise. I've got a lot of love for the Swedish soldiers. Where are we at with the Philip Lemon? What you're saying? United States Department 1 hour ago. All Americans leave Russia immediately. War. I would like to have thought they would have said leave Russia immediately a long time ago. You know, I don't think we should have gotten to this point. I don't think it means war. I just think it's a good provision. I mean, if you look at the sanctions, Russian nationals can't withdraw money out of the bank and stuff now. It's like the economic sanctions imposed on the people of Russia are immense at this moment in time. Thank you for your super chat, brother. Curly Adam, hey, good name, dude. Welcome to the Gendit Members Club, brother. You are the 5th member of the show. Mind it Bear, you're saying how long you think Ukraine can last. Love from the US. Love back at you, brother. Thank you for your super chat. I think they can last with support from the West indefinitely, really, in terms of, you know, it all depends on the support, really. Obviously, it's not indefinitely, but a long time. I think they can, you know, I think it'll eventually turn into guerrilla warfare style tactics, okay? It's just in an urban environment. I think they can last a long time as long as they've got support. Chonky Honky, thank you for your question. You're saying, my opinion is there have been almost constant proxy wars in the 1950s, and it's inevitable that we get more involved. I think it is inevitable. It's just a matter of timing. Timing is the key here. Kevin Moore, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, we've seen war, we don't want war. But if you want war with the US, we can guarantee that someone else will be raising your children. It's an unfortunate statement, but it's somewhat true in that respect. And a horrible one. War is useless, really, in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't really achieve much for the people. It achieves quite a lot for politicians and governments and orders, but not for the people. It never really does. It's just heartache constantly. Greasy Midget says Putin is trying to act like Trump. Big hollow threats. Zypher Death says, I thought you would stream drunk today. I've just came back from the gym. We will have a drunk stream, but again, we're talking about timing. Timing's key. I don't know when the timing is right. Yeah, it is Saturday. I've got a few things to do tomorrow as well, so water and protein, I think, is the way to do it. Jerry 762. The good old 762 for the general purpose machine gun. Welcome to Gendit Members Club. That's a cool name, dude. I appreciate your support. As always, you are the 6th member of the stream. Awesome, dude. Good to have you here. Right, how we doing on the calls? No incoming calls at the moment. Troops, if you do want to call in on the show and have your say on this whole situation in Russia? Do you think? What do you think about the sanctions imposed on Russia? Do you think Putin generally believes that it's a declaration of war, or do you think he's using that to drag America into it? What do you think on that? The link is in the chat right now if you want to call in. Be good to speak to some of you guys. Philip Lemon, excuse me, you're saying the previous State Department language was all American. Was all Americans should consider leaving Russia tonight. It was updated to leave immediately. I wonder if there's going to be any problems on them actually leaving the country. You know, with martial law and all of that impending and being imposed in Russia. In that respect, what's your thoughts on that? I think they're not going to have an easy time getting out of. I don't think they're going to have an easy time actually getting out of the US, getting out of Russia, especially if they're from the United States. I think Russia's going to use that as a measure really to mess them up in that respect. What do you think about that? Bob Gable, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, do you think the volunteers and foreign mercenaries can make a difference? I think the skilled ones definitely can. We need to remember there's some very, very, very skilled individuals out there. I know there's a lot of former Royal Marines, paratroopers who are very, very skilled and ready to go for it and haven't got families or children, so they're good to go. They're good to fight for the cause, you know, and they'll be ready for it. So yeah, I do think they'll make a difference, but I think the ones who are volunteering with no experience will literally hinder the situation. You know, they'll hinder it. And they'll only cause heartache. They're there to create headlines, aren't they? Unfortunately, and they don't even realise that. King Tyrant, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, so do you think the US sanctions on Russia are to turn his own population in Russia against him to have a war between the government and people? Yeah, completely. I do think that. I think that's the only way it goes in that respect. You know, that's the only way it goes. Because if you think about it, the sanctions aren't actually affecting Putin directly in terms of putting money into his pocket. They're helping him, the sanctions imposed, because the oil prices have just went through the roof, so he's benefiting directly from that. All he has to do is turn the taps off as well. So, you know, the sanctions are affecting the people of Russia, and the people of Russia have been through too much for the past 100 years. All right. They're just people like you and I. They've got a different way of living, but we need to remember it's not the people's fault. It's not the people's fault. It never is the people's fault. So yeah, maybe it's about time for regime change, and maybe this is the spark to change that. All right, but we've got to remember China's got Russia's back, and they follow very similar regimes, you know, very, very similar in how they treat the people and stuff like that. Agree with it, disagree with it? Let's talk about it, that's for sure. Thank you for your question. Good one, that. Jeff Gino, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, will this be the fall of Russia at the end of financial sanctions will hurt them in the long run? I think there's definite potential for this to be the fall of Russia as we know it in terms of its political structure. I think whatever happens after this, something will change. All right, the loose ends need tying off now, and I think this is literally going to either go in Putin's favor or go against him. There's going to be no in-betweens with this. You know, he's dedicated to his cause in Ukraine now. He didn't want NATO to be on his doorstep, but if he does win in Ukraine, effectively, he's pushed himself closer to NATO quicker. Do you see that? That was spoken about a few days ago. He doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO because it puts NATO on his doorstep. So as a result, he's invaded a neutral country. If he overcomes that country and takes it over, he's then pushed himself onto a border. He's pushed himself closer to the doorstep of NATO. So there's contradictions in his thought patterns, really. That's the bit I'm struggling with. Does that make sense? That's the bit I'm struggling with. Thank you, John, for your super chat. You're saying he is trying to drag in America so China can go forward with their invasion. Yeah. Are you talking about Taiwan here? I keep saying I need to speak on Taiwan. but we haven't done anything on Taiwan as of yet. Troops, if anyone wants to speak to me on the phone on the show, then I've dropped a link in the chat. That's the way to do it. And we're coming up 11:30. Troops, if you've just joined the channel, thank you very much. Please make sure that you smash that like button. That's the first thing I want you guys to do. It really, really helps the channel out. So 884 concurrent viewers at the moment. If we can get the likes closer to that, we're currently at 420. I'd really appreciate it, troops. It takes 1 second to do and it costs nothing. So let's get that done, please. Where's the rest of the questions coming in? Got loads coming in, troops. J. Richards 99, you're saying, I wish we could solve these issues with a good old tap dancing competition. I heard Vlad's favours Putin on the Ritz. may peace come one day. Yeah, here to that. I'm not sure if jazz is the solution. Maybe it is. We need a Hunger Games style competition, I think, with all of the tyrants of the world. Let's get them on that and televise it. Unigaming says, I sent a link to that essay on Instagram like you asked. I don't know if you got it through, though. I'll double check, mate. If I skim over the messages, it's probably because I get that many, which is a good thing. But yeah, I'll definitely have a scout over that, buddy, 100%. Philip Lemon, you're saying they arrested a popular WNBA player today at the airport, Brittany Greener. Who arrested? Who arrested who? We'll have a look at that. Broken Drifter, Belarus is also on Russia's side. Yeah, they certainly are. They've been on their side since the start. But you see the size of the country, and that's probably the reason why. Same as Moldova. You know, you look at Belarus and then Moldova. Moldova's will crumble with this whole invasion. It's not looking good for Moldova, I think. They need to be worried, to be fair. John Pacey, you're saying my heart goes out to the volunteers with little training was being romanticised, and the boys that have been known this isn't the case. Yeah, that's exactly, you couldn't have put it better myself. It has been romanticised, and they'll watch a few films and think, I'm going to do this and be remembered, and, you know, I'll be a hero and everything else. But realistically, you know, after a few years, unfortunately, people do forget. People don't care. Like, I remember when Afghanistan was going on, the lads were the greatest things since sliced bread. But there were same lads who've unfortunately been killed, maimed, or injured horrifically. You know, some of them now will be 10, 15 years since they've been to Afghanistan, and they must be thinking, what on earth was the point with a lot of them? I know a lot of the guys that I know think, well, what was the point? Especially with how it ended, you know. They were there for what they believed to be a good cause. They were fighting for the brothers. In the end, they got injured, and effectively, unfortunately, people don't really care too much about them afterwards. I care greatly for them, but the general populace doesn't. They say they do, but I don't feel as if they do as much. Does that make sense? Philip Lemon, thank you for joining the Gendit Members Club. Welcome, brother. Welcome. You are the 7th member, which is absolutely fantastic, troops. The real Slim Shady, again, you're saying Putin said he doesn't want to take over Ukraine. Just topple their government and get out of there. So Russia still wouldn't share a border with NATO, but we all know how much Putin's word is worth. Well, that's it. I don't think. Why on earth would he want to topple their government with war? It doesn't make sense. I think if he's invading Ukraine, he's there to stay. He wants the country to be part of Russia, some way, shape, or form. That's what I think. But again, I'm not a historian. I'm not a politician. I don't profess to be right on all of these things. It's just my opinion. Roland Gold, thank you for your super chat. You're saying Taiwan is an issue for sure. The US needs to stop exporting labour and bring industry back home. That's actually true for all nations. It is true for all nations, but you'll find that a lot of the Western countries are so... they're in each other's back pockets, aren't they? And we all owe favours here, there, and everywhere. So it'll be... In theory, it's a good thing. In practice, it wouldn't really work. It would take generations to sort out. That's not a quick fix, really. It's not a quick fix at all. Hey, troops, let's get that likes over 600, please. Let's go. Press that like button. The Watcher, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, do you think Russia will stop Finland from joining NATO? And do you think they will invade Norway? I think Russia is trying to be an aggressor in terms of they're trying to frighten Finland in that respect. I mean, we've seen of recent the aircraft that's been sent over on different sortie missions and stuff. It's little, it's little glimpses of what they're trying to say. Listen, you better watch yourselves. But NATO's expansion is worrying Russia. That's for sure. That's where the problem arises from. And do you think they will invade Norway? If they invade Norway, that's bad news for them. I think, the relations with Norway and the UK and the US, especially when we're talking militarily on the northern flank there, up in Norway, where they do a lot of combined training missions and stuff like that, and it's bad news for them in that respect. I mean, we've got Royal Marines up there right now, so I don't think it's a good. It would be good for them in that respect, but it would drag other countries in. Bob Gable says, I talked about removing Putin. Don't put the Russian people in a corner with Putin. Deal with him separate. Yeah, but who's going to do that? Who's really going to step up to the plate to that? Do you know what I mean? I understand where you're coming from, but yeah. Johnny Bourbon, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, but NATO countries already border Russia like Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. So does Putin think they are not NATO? Are they next? Yeah, but right. Let's have a look at this map. Actually, I'll put the map on in a few seconds, guys. We'll talk about that. Philip Lemon again. Thank you for your super chat. You're saying in Moscow because WNBA players don't make much. They play the off season in Russia. Is that really? I didn't know that. The sanctions on sport at this moment in time, unless the individuals decide to become neutral, means that participation from Russia to every major sport pretty much is off limits. The Russian sanctions are immense, man. When you look into them, they're immense. Unigaming, you're saying NATO-Ukraine border is more defensible and further away than Ukraine-Russia border. It's moving forward to easier positions. Okay, troops, let's have a look at this map. If you want to speak to me, here's the link to do so. I'll drop it in the chat right now. If you press that link, you can call the show and we'll get you involved. You can have your say. Chaos187, you're saying the world is a crazy place. I have lived in areas where people have been shot just for owning a better pair of shoes than someone else. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you just have to look at certain places in the world where crimes is such a rife. South Africa, for one, I mean, they've come a long way, but they've still got a long way to go in terms of, the carjacking situation over there, for instance. Just because you might be wearing, nice clothes or have a nice bag or a wallet with money in it, it's mental what people are getting killed for globally. But that's why I think, people who complain in England don't really know what the rest of the world's like. I mean, we live in a fantastically free country here. I get there's people have different opinions on what freedom is, but in the context of what we all would generalize freedom to be, the UK is quite a free place, guys. And yeah, thank you for your question. Bob Gable, thank you for your super chat. You're saying we want the people of Russia on our side. I'm just saying I don't believe they are with Putin. They are scared. That we talked about that yesterday in terms of yes men, the yes men mentality, the yes men society. And fear causes that. It's driven. We see big business doing that because they generate fear out of people working for companies because they know they need the paycheck at the end of the month. So the bosses can drive fear into them, and it's a fear-driven workplace, just like Russia. And you get more out of people in that, but you don't necessarily get the right things happening. You just get what you want to happen. So your agenda gets fulfilled. It's a narcissistic trait to be that way. But you get caught out because humans don't know everything, all right? You've got to integrate, you've got to get people within your network around you to be able to sometimes tell you the harsh reality that sometimes you're wrong. And if holistically everyone says the same thing, then you can come to a decision, actually, yeah, everyone thinks I'm wrong on this. Let's try it this way instead. That's how progress is made. You don't get you can't progress with one opinion. You can't progress with one side of the coin. You can't progress with everyone telling you, yes, 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 that's a good thing to do, just because they're scared. And that's what we see. That's one of the problems. That's one of the problems with communism, in my opinion. All right, it's one of the very obvious problems with it. One agenda fulfilled. It's an interesting topic. What do you think about that one, troops? Jerry762 US 10. Thank you for your super chat. You're saying United States buys 62 million per day of oil from Russia. The sanctions are trash. We're funding this war. What are your thoughts on France aircraft carriers going to support airspace? Yeah, 62 million. Well, that's exactly what I was trying to say a few moments ago about, who are the sanctions really affecting here? The sanctions are affecting, unfortunately, just the regular citizens trying to get by in life, trying to pay their bills. They're benefiting the regime, though. They're benefiting Putin because of that very thing that you've just said there. The price of oil and who buys it. Who buys it? Yeah, it's just such an interesting topic, and it's so true. All right. What are my thoughts on France aircraft carriers going to support airspace? Fair play to France for stepping up. They've obviously seen a cause and they're thinking, it's more beneficial for us. It's different with France. I mean, it's similar in our respect, but we've got a border and it's called the sea. And it might not be as pertinent now as it was in the likes of World War II, but it's still a border, and one hell of a border, and it makes an invasion harder for us in that respect. Harder for others. Just look at this. It's 2 seconds, troops. I need to do. Let's get this map a bit bigger. There we go. We've got a border. See it, but that's why France got problems with immigration and stuff like that, and refugee. People fleeing war zones and everything. France always gets the brunt of it because they haven't got a natural border, which France might be trying to react because like a preemptive kind of reaction to help their situation out, because they might see that this might be moving further west. Depending on how well or successful the Russians are in the Ukraine, this could actually be a direct threat to them eventually at some point. It's how it's similar to what happened with Hitler's plan, isn't it? Quite similar. It's different, but it's similar, if you know what I mean. We're going to get into this map very soon, actually. We're going to delve into this map pretty soon. Anthony Bowley, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, from a 11 Bravo Army Ranger, much respect, sir. Salute you, brother. Thank you for your service, my friend. Welcome to the channel, bro. Zypher Death, you're saying it's a fact that USSR used these broken up nations as geographical buffers because of the USSR's fall. Russia has a vast plan, lands on the western border. I think his plan definitely exceeds. It goes beyond Ukraine. It has to. Doesn't make sense not to, really. I'm just trying to put my head in his head, if that makes sense. Norwegian Reki, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, cheers from Norway. Putin has always been a bully and will always will be. I just hope my CBRN training won't become a necessity if Russia can't take Ukraine. Good luck trying to take Norway. Yeah, good luck. What a horribly hostile land, a beautiful landscape, but hard as hell. That's why the Norwegian Marines, the Royal Marines train there. The US Marines come over and get thrashed by our mountain leaders. It's a very hostile environment that I genuinely think we have got the master of. I think we would be dominant in those regions because of the amount of time we spend there. What do you think, Norwegian Ricky? Thank you for your service as well, buddy. Let's hope you don't have to use that CBRN rig. Coming up to 11:45 now in the UK. Troops, we've got over 1,000 wonderful viewers in the show at the moment. If you don't mind hitting that like button, and let's get the likes to over 1,000. It would literally takes 2 seconds to do. Let's everyone now make a conservative effort to hit that like button for me, and let's get the show on the road. Yeah, let's go. Nearly over 700 now. Let's get to 800 as soon as we can. Takes 2 seconds, troops. Come on. Everyone's responsibility. Orange, you're saying International Space Station will cease operations soon as US and allies own half the space station, the other half owned by Russia. Yeah, there's talks about taking the space station down. If they take parts of the national grid out, it'll come down anyway, and nobody wants that amount of tonnage coming down on Earth. That would be devastating. This is like war movie stuff, futuristic war movies. It's mental. This is mental. Brian Rayborn, you're saying regarding sanctions, think of Cuba since 1962. Granted, it's not a huge country like Russia. It hurts the innocent, peace-loving people the most. Right, it's saying there's an error on here. Can everyone drop a comment below? Is the stream okay? It says I've got an error on here. Is the stream okay, guys? Stream is good, right? Okay, yeah. I just think I don't know why it's doing that. I think it's I don't know why it's doing that actually. Sorry, troops. Let's get back into this. Brian Rayborn. Yeah, it hurts the peace-loving people the most. It does. It hurts the people of the place. But I understand why we have to use sanctions though as a measure to be able to stop someone doing something. All right, it's unfortunate. It's a similar thing in the military actually that we used to. It was called blanket punishment. It sounds horrible. It is horrible, really. But if one person messes up, you won't get punished. The rest of your squad will. And it makes you think about it, okay? Unless you're a psychopath, it makes you think, I don't want that to happen again. And it turns people against you. It's exactly that, isn't it? It's a blanket punishment. It's designed, and it does turn people against you. Be rest assured, there's no regime strong enough in the world for sanctions that are imposed as hard for you not to eventually turn against the person who's causing these sanctions. So I do think we'll see direct results coming out of the woodworks very soon on that. Johnny Bourbon, thank you for your super chat. You're saying Putin only knows strength. Sadly, NATO can provide that strength with a no-fly zone. It's tricky. It could trigger World War III. Is that what Putin wants? I don't think he wants World War III. I think he's trying to be manipulative around the situation so that he can get as much from this current situation without it actually escalating to World War III. I think he's going to be quite manipulative with this. I don't think he wants World War III. It doesn't benefit him in that respect. Do you know what I mean? Carpenters, Ukraine is a historical geographical territory for invading Russia. Also, please speak on Azov and the shelling of the Donbass, tens of thousands killed. Where? Right, we'll have a look at this. Whoa, okay, this is looking bad. Russian forces have continued to bombard the besieged city of Maripo in eastern Ukraine. Is it tens of thousands, though? Been under constant attack for 24 hours, which left hundreds of... Hang on, what? They are trying to create a blockade here, just like Leningrad, he said in a statement referring to the siege of Russia's second largest city. Ah, right, we're talking about the Second World War in that respect, aren't we? About those... The city's more than 400,000 people, key target. Right, we'll get into that. We'll get into that at some point. Thank you for that, buddy. Jerry762, again, you're saying France hit a plane to enforce a no-fly war. France gets hit, war, NATO ally, all for one. Yeah, France getting involved in this might actually be the reason NATO gets involved in that respect. France might be the people to get NATO involved by sending planes in that respect. Sorry, troops, I'm just scrolling back up to get these questions in. I apologise. Johnny Bourbon, welcome to the Gendit Members Club. I had a feeling you were going to actually join. You're the 9th wonderful member on today's stream. Welcome to the channel, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Johnny Bourbon says, just joined the channel. Just about cheaper than a gallon of gas and way more informative and interesting. Ah, thank you, brother. I try to get a healthy mix of not taking the piss, basically, with how much it costs and how much I can give, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully I've got the balance right on that. I appreciate you joining the channel, brother. It helps me out more than you'd think. This is what I do for work. This is me. I had a very good job in London. I was a close protection officer. After I left the Marines, that's what I did. So I was quite comfortable in that respect, and leaving that job did put me at a bit of in a nervy situation. You know, I went full head and dived into YouTube, which is, it's week to week in that respect. It can be good, it can be bad sometimes. It's just one of those things. But your support really does give me a lot more peace of mind month by month. So thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Hey, Robert Webster the second, welcome to the Gendit Members Club as well, buddy. You are, I think, the 10th member of the channel. Thank you, brother. Or the 9th or 10th. Bob Gable, to people in chat, I'm sure there's things going on that he would never talk about. I'm not sure if you're referring to myself. Yeah, there'll always be things that I wouldn't talk about. There's a definite line with certain things, isn't there? Say for death, bro, whenever I call that guy a demon, it says error. So one on that, guys. YouTube will pick up things that are not meant to, you know, it picks up certain things that, you know, to control the chat and stuff, and rightfully so. So yeah, you do have to be careful what you say. Okay, we like to keep it good here. Say for death. Thank you for your super chat, my friend. I need to catch up with these super chats. Are coming in quick and fast. The real Slim Shady again, buddy. You're a regular here now. You're saying sanctions will hurt the Russian people far more than they will hurt Putin. It will take several months at the earliest for Putin himself to begin feeling the sanctions. It will take several months. Yeah, or it will take several months until he feels the sanctions, or, in my opinion, until the people are that affected. And it doesn't take too long before people get hungry and fed up, where they start rising up against it. I think that's what we're going to start seeing, a bit of a civil unrest. We'd already seen it in the news. Whether that's propaganda or not, I'm not too sure, but we are seeing massive changes at the moment. I think this war actually we're talking about this is what we need to consider. We talk a lot about NATO getting involved to change things. We talk a lot about America getting involved to change things. But let's talk about the people of Russia. They really hold the power hand here. Does that make sense? They're the people who hold the power in this situation, I think, because one, there's that many of them. Two, they get sick enough with the sanctions and they start saying, you know, it's all because of one person and the regime. It's over. It's over. The people hold the power. The people hold the power. What's your thoughts on that, troops? If you want to speak about that, here's a link to call the channel. If you call the channel, we can chat live and yeah, it would be good. Who's going to be the first live caller on the channel? Who's going to be the first live caller on the channel, troops? Hey? It would be interesting to see who the first one's going to be. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Right, I need to do something. There we go. Put that there. Put that there. Sorry, troops, I'm just sorting my screen out. Right then, troops. So, need to catch up with these questions again. Who's got the next one? Joseph Sawyer, thank you for your super chat. You're saying hashtag #1 fan. Mark Collier, thank you for your super chat. You're saying from America. Thanks for the info. Keep it up. Hey, buddy, I try my best, and that's all I'm here to do, really. Again, I don't profess to be a professional, an expert, or anything like that, or a historian. Just here doing my thing, and if it suits your viewing pleasure, then it's my pleasure. The Carpenters, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, no, the conflict that has been happening in the East Ukraine for the past 8 years, Azov Battalion and the right sector, whom are part of the Ukrainian military. Yeah, that's one thing that people aren't really discussing. The thing, and this is the thing where we're getting a lot of people jumping on, I don't want to say the bandwagon with this, but, you know, they think that this is a relatively new thing when it's not. It's been going on since 2014. There's people been fighting on the front lines for a long time. There's lives being lost, you know, already. So, yeah, it's nothing new in that respect, is that, if that's what you mean, and I agree with that. Hako Subu, thank you. You're saying you do good. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Kevin Kompowicz, hope I've pronounced your name right there. What are you saying? Thank you for your super chat. You're saying, I get some of it. Pipelines in Ukraine, increased depth of defense, warm water ports. But it seems like there is more behind Putin's plan, like getting to the Antarctic or Med. Well, if he gets to the Mediterranean, he's got the trade routes, hasn't he? Which is billions and billions and billions. I mean, just getting to the Baltic, there's trade routes there. If he gets there, he controls 70% of trade, apparently. How much money is that? There's a lot of money involved in this, guys. Let's be rest assured. It's all about money, really. And he's 69 years old. It doesn't really benefit him that much now. He's getting on, isn't he? Ash Scott, the troops in this 40-mile column, where are they sleeping and how are they keeping warm? Engines running all night. Their legs will be jelly by now. Is this convoy still there? Is the convoy still there? Surely not. And if so, why? We need to expand on that. Orange, you're saying must watch Sky News YouTube video from today of journalists being shot at by Russian troops. One was hit in body armor. No one was hurt, luckily. It's never good, is it, really, that? You can't be shooting press. Anthony McClelland, you're saying Russian businessmen put a... What is that? How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a lot of zeros with a 1 in front. Yeah, I heard about that. Is that going to materialize? Who's the person who gets away with it? Would you want that money? You'd need that money to hide, wouldn't you? You know, that would it even be worth having that? that amount of money for that and having that on your name. Bob Gable, most of the world has an economic siege on Russia. They cannot survive on China's help alone. I don't think they can. It would be a massive strain on China's economy as well, that. I don't think China's prepared to piggyback them through this either. They say they support them. I think they do, but are they prepared to piggyback them through this? I don't think they are. Zai for Death, you're saying, when are we having China, Taiwan, India, Pakistan? I'll dedicate a stream to that, actually. I intend on doing that during... I might have to do it in the morning time. I might have to wake up and do it like 3 in the morning for India and Taiwan, because that's when you guys will be awake, to be fair. So, Baka, thank you. You're saying love the content. I appreciate that, dude. Cheers, my friend. Tyler Dowdy, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, I think the reason Putin is sending in mercenaries is because he is having issues with his regular military. I didn't realize Putin is sending in mercenaries. Are you sure about that? Are you sure that he's the one sending in? I know the Ukraine is, obviously. I didn't realize Putin was at that point. Is that fake news or what? Robert Webster, thank you. You're saying the other oligarchs have lost over 80 billion in the past week. They have confiscated several 600 million pound yachts. What? Whatever that is, that's a lot of money. RTK615. What do you think the end game is? It's a good question, actually. World war or isolated conflict between Eastern Europe and Russia? There really is no winning here. World war is horrific for everyone. Isolated conflict should be everyone's problem, because can we live in a world where we just accept that one country suffers? I don't think so. There really is no winning in that respect. You're right. You're more than right. It's concrete. There's really no winners in that. Right, troops. So I'm going to put the link in the chat now. Boom. And I'm going to pin that to the top. Who's going to be the first person to call the show? Let's see who it's going to be. So that's now pinned to the top, or it should be. Double and Magpie, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, does anybody notice the Ukrainians Azov battalion badge has SS symbol in it, but reversed? I've seen that on a video somewhere. Bob Gable, thank you for your super chat. You're saying Ukraine Special Forces have warned Russia artillery that they will not take prisoners for targeting civilian areas. They're just open threats though, aren't they? That's the thing. Hey, we've got well over 1,000 live viewers on the show at this moment in time. If we can get the likes over 1,000, I would be absolutely over the moon, troops. Audio cutting out. Cutting out. Can you hear me now, guys? You good? Yeah. Yeah, there's a few problems here that I've noticed. Apologies in advance, guys. Let me know if there's any problems. It seems to be all right my end now. Sorry about that. Robert Webster II, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, I believe this was planned since 2008. The timing just had to come. I am now waiting for the mobilization call. I hope not, buddy, but I know where you're coming from, and a part of me kind of thinks the same as well, if I'm honest with you. You know, I've only been out the forces just under 5 years, so you never know. I might be doing this from the from the front line. God, can you imagine that? That would be something else, man. Yeah, we'll see. Who's going to be the first one to call troops? In fact, I need someone to test that out to see if it's going to work. I need to see if that's actually going to work, that calling system. I think it should work. We're trying it out at the moment with one of the providers. It's been a bit of a nightmare to get set up, actually, so I'm looking forward to see if it does work. Hopefully it does. Where's the next one? Chad Bagley, you're saying my dad and grandma are in Mykolaiv right now. They're holding out well, and the mayor there is doing a great job staying in control. I feel for your dad and grandma, Chad. I truly and sincerely hope they're all right. Bless them both, man. Stay strong, brother. Well, I don't know what else to say to that. I hope they stay fine. Okay. Right, the sound. How is the sound? Is the sound buffering again? Sound is good. I'm not. I think we haven't. I'm getting a few errors coming up on my OBS. This is why I didn't live stream the other day, guys, because it says that there's a problem with YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So I'm not sure what's going on in that respect. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I think we might need to either call it a day a bit earlier. It's apologies, troops. Let's. I need to sort this out. Right, it says the stream is fine. My side now. Hopefully it doesn't buffer like that again. My apologies, guys. Nitro Dragon, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, what would you do if put into the situation of one of the Russian conscripts? You are 18 again, told you're going to training, and then end up in Ukraine. What would you do? First of all, I'd be terrified. I would be absolutely terrified, to say the least. But at the same time, as a young impressionable male at 18 years old, the propaganda, the orders, the constant telling you that it's for a good cause and everything else, I would have bought into it as well. because that's what you do when you're young, impressionable, and you're hormonal. You're a male. You want to be a man. You want to be there. You know, you want to be in it. So you'll fight. That's why we see constant wars happening with constant young lives lost, because they're getting that catchment, aren't they? You know, people forget, like, I was the guy when I bought this I would have been happy to go anywhere they would have sent me. I would have been more than happy to go anywhere. Wearing this on my head, I'm not so sure now, as I'm a little bit older and wiser, you know. So it's got a lot to do with this is where we link hormones in the business as well, you know, in terms of males, the anatomy, science behind what makes you do, what makes you tick. It's got a lot to do with young testosterone fueled males wanting to be impressionable. Seriously, people don't ever consider that. You would never think to consider that either, would you? Yeah, it's interesting. We do seem to be coming into a few problems, guys, on the stream. I can see that it's buffering slightly. Sound is fine, zero issues, yeah. It's poor again. Yeah, I'm getting information through actually via my streaming software that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. So, I know a lot of you guys are saying it's fine, but it's I'm gonna have to try and fix it. I don't want people getting bad quality, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I might try and come back on, like I'll restart the stream, but if not, I'm gonna end it there, unfortunately, for this one, and see if I can fix the problem, because I'm getting a couple of errors coming up here. We have streamed for well over an hour actually, so yeah, OBS was causing me problems the other day. I think I need to update it again. I know it's fine for a lot of people, guys, but it's actually buffering via my side as well. So I don't want the content to suffer as a result of that. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. I will try and figure it out and see what the problem is. I think a lot of people from the States are fine. I don't know what's going on with the stream at the moment, but yeah, I'm sorry if there's I'm sorry about that, and I'll see you guys either very soon tonight, or I will see you. Actually, I might go live via my phone. We won't have any maps and stuff like that. It'll just be me talking on my phone. We can pick up the conversation there, because there's a lot of you guys. I appreciate take time out of your day to come onto these live chats and stuff. So what I will do is maybe go live on my phone, and we can just continue the chat downstairs. Yeah, I might just put it on my phone and continue the chat downstairs. Might even crack open a beer, to be fair. But on terms of this stream right now, I'm gonna have to love you guys and leave you. I apologize for that. I might see you soon via the phone. So stick around and keep an eye out. Troops, sorry, I will see you very, very soon, hopefully. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you all so much.